Let me guess, you're watching this because you don't feel like you're yourself anymore. Maybe you used to handle stress like a champ, and now you're crying over a commercial about puppies, or you're lying awake at 3 a.m., your mind is racing about things that never used to bother you. Now, I've been there and I've walked through this with hundreds of women over the past 20 years, and I want you to know something right up front. What you're experiencing, it's real and it has a scientific explanation, and it's absolutely not your fault. My name's Traci D. Mitchell. I'm a board-certified Mayo Clinic health and wellness coach. I hold a master's degree in health and nutrition education, and I'm the author of The Belly Burn Plan. And I've had the privilege of working with women just like you over the last 20 years, helping you improve your health and your hormones. Now, one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about this work is because I remember sitting across from Maria. She's one of my first clients, and she was a successful attorney, mother of 3. The woman everyone kind of came to for advice, and she looked at me with tears in her eyes and she said, "Traci, I feel like my brain has just been hijacked. What is wrong with me?" And it turns out really nothing was wrong with her. Her brain chemistry, though, was changing in ways that no one had ever really explained to her. And so today, I'm going to explain what's really happening, and more importantly, give you some practical ways to support yourself through all of this. Now, here's what nobody tells you about perimenopause. It's not really about your ovaries, it's about your brain. Your brain has been running on estrogen for decades. So think of estrogen as premium fuel that's been keeping your mood, your memory, your sleep, your stress response, so all of it running smoothly. Now imagine someone starts randomly switching between premium fuel, regular fuel, and sometimes no fuel at all. That's perimenopause. Now, in my 20 years of working with women, I've heard the same story over and over again, that smart, capable women suddenly feeling like they can't trust their own minds. Linda, a financial advisor, told me once that she had a complete meltdown because her favorite parking spot was taken. I mean, it happens. Sarah, a teacher who'd managed classroom chaos for 15 years, called me in tears because she couldn't handle her own teenager's eye rolls. Now, I can get that, but these aren't character flaws. This is brain chemistry. You see, we've been conditioned to think that our changing moods about stress or aging or just being dramatic, but the truth is there's something specific happening between estrogen and another brain chemical called serotonin that explains why you feel like an emotional stranger to even yourself. Okay, so here's the first thing that's going on to make everything click for you. Your brain is absolutely packed with estrogen receptors. We're talking everywhere. The areas that control your memory, your emotions, your sleep, your stress response. Your brain has been designed to run on estrogen. Now, recent research from neuroscientist Lisa Mosconi, who's great, you'll love her books, shows us that when estrogen starts fluctuating in perimenopause, your brain actually tries to compensate by creating more estrogen receptors. It's like turning up the volume when you can't hear well. But here's the catch. Even though your brain is trying harder to grab onto estrogen, the estrogen levels are unpredictable. So you've got a brain that's both more sensitive to estrogen and getting less reliable estrogen supply. So think about it this way. If you've been running your car on premium fuel, let's go back to this analogy again, for 30 years, and suddenly someone starts randomly putting in regular gas, water, or leaving the tank entirely on empty, your car would run differently every day, right? That's essentially what's happening to your brain. Here's where it gets really interesting and where we can actually do something about it. Estrogen doesn't just affect your reproductive system, it literally controls how much serotonin your brain can make and use. Serotonin is often called the happiness chemical, but it's so much more than that. It affects your sleep quality, your appetite, how you handle stress, your motivation, your sense of well-being, basically everything that makes you feel like you. When estrogen fluctuates, your serotonin production becomes unpredictable. This explains something I see with my clients all the time, why you can feel fine on Tuesday and completely overwhelmed by the exact same situation on Thursday. Rachel, another one of my clients, described it perfectly by saying, "It's like someone keeps randomly adjusting the volume on my emotions. Some days I can handle everything, other days it's a sad song on the radio that makes me sob for an hour." That's not emotional instability. That's your serotonin levels changing because your estrogen levels change. So they both really work together. The beautiful thing about understanding this connection is that there are actually things we can do to support serotonin production naturally, which is where nutrition becomes really powerful. Now, I'll share some specific strategies in just a minute. Here's the third piece that usually makes women say, oh my God, that's exactly what happened to me. Your brain responds to estrogen changes before your body does. This is why so many women tell me that their mood changes started years before the hot flashes. Your brain is incredibly sensitive to even small hormonal shifts, while your reproductive system might still be chugging along pretty normally. If you started feeling more anxious or noticed another example would be my client Karen. She said to me that she started feeling off at 42 but didn't really connect it to hormones because she was still getting regular periods and she felt fine physically. She thought it was just stress. But then when we dove into her symptoms, she had trouble sleeping, she felt overwhelmed often, she had a problem making normal decisions, and she cried really easily. Clearly, it was her brain chemistry that was a little bit off, controlled by her hormonal shifts. Now, let me be very clear about something. I'm not going to tell you that changing your diet will cure perimenopause. This is a complex brain chemistry that we're talking about. But in my 20 plus years of experience in working with women and oftentimes revolving around hormones, let me tell you that nutrition strategies can really support your brain during this transition. Think of it as giving your brain the best possible foundation while adjusting to this new normal. Okay, first, let's support serotonin. Your brain makes serotonin and it's originally created in your gut, but your brain makes it through an amino acid called tryptophan. But here's the key. It needs help getting tryptophan to your brain. So simple daily practices would be to pair a small amount of protein with complex carbohydrates, like apple slices on almond butter or whole grain toast with avocado. The carbs help to transport tryptophan to your brain where it becomes serotonin. Now this one's huge, and it's something I work on every single day with my clients. When blood sugar levels spike and crash, it makes those hormonal swings so much worse. So to help this, what this might look like would be to add fiber to every single meal or snack because it slows down the sugar absorption and it keeps your blood sugar steady. When you're craving sugar at 3 o'clock, have an apple with the skin on or berries with some nuts. The fiber helps to prevent those energy crashes and helps to prevent those mood swings from getting worse. The third thing you should do is focus on those omega-3s for brain support. Omega-3s are essential for brain communication. So walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, fatty fish if you like it. I tell my clients to think of omega-3s as oil for your brain machinery. Now, magnesium helps calm your nervous system. Dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, dark chocolate. Yes, I said dark chocolate, it counts. One of my clients calls her evening square of dark chocolate her medicinal treat. Now, don't try to change everything at once. Pick just one thing, maybe adding some extra fiber to your breakfast or taking a 10-minute walk after lunch to help control those blood sugars. Small, consistent changes can really add up. I want every woman to understand that's watching this and to hear me very clearly. If you've been feeling like you're losing your mind, you're not imagining it. You're not weak, you're not broken. Your brain is going through one of the most significant transitions in your life. The fact that you feel different makes complete sense. And if your healthcare provider suggests medication during this time, whether that's hormone therapy or antidepressants, that is not a failure. Sometimes our brains need extra support while they're figuring out this, like I said, new normal. Think of it as scaffolding while you're rebuilding. It's an important thing. Don't disregard it. Here's what I want you to know from watching hundreds of women navigate this transition is that it does get better. Your brain is incredibly adaptable. This challenging phase is really temporary. Some of my clients tell me they actually feel more authentically themselves on the other side of this transition. If what I've shared today resonates with you, I've got a little 3-minute hormone assessment that might help you understand where you might be in this transition and what specific support could be available to you. This assessment comes from everything that I've learned working with women through hormonal transitions for 2 decades. It's not a replacement for working with your healthcare provider, but it does give you a chance to put some language and have some conversations to help you understand what you're experiencing. You'll find the link below in this video. Remember that understanding the estrogen-serotonin connection doesn't solve everything overnight, but it gives you a framework for making sense of what you're feeling. And sometimes just knowing there's a biological reason for your experience can be incredibly validating.